Hi, this is Susie Ulick with Ansley Real Estate Christie's International. If you've been paying attention to the news lately, you've probably heard a lot of opinions about the housing market. Some people are saying prices are about to crash. Others are saying mortgage rates are going to keep everybody on the sidelines. And then there are people who think it's the perfect time to buy or sell. The truth is, there is a lot of noise out there right now, and most of the headlines don't necessarily reflect what's happening in our local market. So today, I want to break down what's actually happening in real estate now, what we're seeing this summer, and what it means if you're thinking about buying, selling, or making a move. So I have been getting the question, what is happening with home prices now? Everybody wants to know. So home prices have been relatively stable. Of course, that varies area to area, neighborhood to neighborhood even. Depends on, are you really seeing a true appreciation this year of that average to 3 to 5%, which we're expecting in Georgia right now, or maybe a little bit of a decline. It just varies neighborhood to neighborhood. We're no longer seeing the rapid appreciation, of course, that we saw from 2020 to 2022. Completely different market. I never use the term normal, a normal market, because I don't feel like any market is normal. It's a little bit more balanced, I would say, with buyer-seller activity. So it's not a heavily favored seller market, and it's not a heavily favored buyer market either. A balanced market, stability, is actually good for both buyers and sellers. For sellers, it's good because they do expect still to have an offer on their house, maybe in some areas, multiple offers even, and buyers interested in their home. For buyers, it gives them the opportunity to actually house shop, look at houses, and not just run into one house and feel like they have to put an offer in immediately. So it gives them a little bit of time. Again, that varies as well, area to area. Some areas are heavily seller favored markets. So if that right home comes on the market that checks all your boxes, you do need to hop on it. The other question I'm getting currently is, what are mortgage rates doing right now? Rates have improved since this time last year. They have been a little volatile, I would say, with the up and down marker due to macroeconomics, which that's always the case. However, rates being what they are, it's not a bad time to go ahead and get a mortgage and lock in that rate, because we don't have a crystal ball that gives us future prediction of what rates will be at the end of the year or even next year. We look at macroeconomics, economic data to help give us indications, but at the end of the day, we just don't know what rates will be. For those that come my way curious about financing, I always recommend them to a local lender. And I do that because each lending company offers different programs that may work for their current situation. So you definitely want to do your research on what options are out there for lending packages for you so you can make the best decision. The other question I'm getting is, are buyers finally getting more options? And the answer generally is yes. Inventory has increased. There are more options that buyers are seeing for houses online when they're house shopping on third-party home search sites, and they just have a little bit more time. That is the case. You want to check area to area, of course, because we are still, the state of Georgia still is not at the inventory level pre-pandemic. So looking at 2019 to today, we're still less inventory from that year. So that's to keep in mind. But yes, buyers overall, they do have a little bit more time, a little bit more flexibility with inventory right now when shopping for homes. And the last question I'll mention that I'm getting currently is, how is real estate holding up despite everything happening in the economy? People always need to buy and sell homes. That's definitely the case here. What is going on from a macroeconomic standpoint can always pause some buyers from maybe obtaining a loan to buy a home, or pause some sellers from putting their home on the market. But the fact is that people always need to buy and always need to sell homes. The market does keep moving. Having all the information you need, whether buying or selling, is key to moving forward. When you have that information, there is more confidence. Speaking to lenders, speaking to real estate agents, speaking to those experts in that arena will help you move forward with confidence. Despite what's going on in the economy, having this information will give you confidence moving forward, whether buying or selling a home. So what's the biggest takeaway here? The market is much more stable than many of the headlines would have you believe. Prices are holding steady. Mortgage rates have improved from last year. Buyers have more options, and homes are still selling every day. But what matters most isn't what's happening nationally. It's what's happening right here in your neighborhood and how it applies to your specific situation. If you're wondering whether now's the right time to buy, sell, or simply want to understand what's happening in your local market, I'd be happy to help here. Reach out anytime and we can look at the numbers together so you can make a decision based on facts instead of headlines. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.